Fan Frenzy is where we're at. Fan Frenzy, where you, the fans, take control of the conversation. And who are we starting off with, Tristan?
First one I'm starting off with this week is Paul Cook. Race rank of a 7.5. Ugly but interesting. It's a really unusual description.
That's
Paul.
not bad. I can understand that.
No, so, yeah, 3 to Pierre, 2 to Joe, 1 to Charles. I'm going to be dark on anyone.
Gasly's a good call. I should have put Gasly on.
No, I'm going to be dark on anyone that doesn't give Joe 3 this week.
No,
which is harsh. I'm just saying. Clear dud for me was the safety failing to bring out the stewards. The stewards failing to bring out the safety card for Albon's mirror sooner. Hero of the hour, the Alpine team, wishing Jack the best of luck in Abu Dhabi. I like that call. Question: what's on the menu for Christmas Day for us? Any other traditions? Oh, that's a good question. You love food.
Here we go.
You love food. I mean, talking about you love gadgets. What will I have for Christmas lunch? See, like, we're big Christmas lunches. We're not big Christmas teas. Or dinners, sorry. I got tea. What do you prefer, like lunch or tea?
Well, I do one of each.
Yeah.
So we're having
I do
lunch.
both.
I'm having lunch with Tara's family.
Yep.
And then I'm having dinner the next day with my family.
Following day. Yeah.
So we always do the dinner with my family because my family, we drink lots of cocktails.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I dig that. I'm very much a luncher. Like, I prefer lunch. Yeah. What's Pav, Paul? My mum makes an awesome Pav.
Beautiful.
Trifle. I could literally inhale just like trifle after trifle. I adore trifle.
Really?
I adore a sweet tooth. Like,
yeah.
Mum's Pav's good, and she has like cherry ripe Pav on the top.
Oh yeah.
Dad will get like a whole like chocolate ribble cake to himself.
Do you guys have anything other than desserts?
No,
like
yeah, we
Christmas
do.
Day?
We do. That's what I'm saying. It's good. Potato salad, Chris. My grandma used to make a brilliant potato salad. She's not around anymore. She doesn't do it. But Mum's is okay. It's absolutely not to grandma's standard. That was.
Nah, nothing's grandma's.
And she knows that. We're honest in our family, Paul. But yeah, potato salad.
Hang on. So you've got a salad and dessert so far. Is there a meat?
Yeah, there'll be like chicken. Like I don't. I'll just grab we'll just have stuff on a plate. And then you just grab like bits and pieces of what you'd sort of like with your meat. So I don't sort of get up for Christmas lunch or tea going, right, meat. I need that. I'm all about the desserts and potato salad.
Okay.
I could just have potato salad and trifle.
Yep.
What are you having?
Well, I always do a ham.
Yep.
So I'll generally cook for one of the families, and then I'll generally get a bit of a free pass for the other family.
Yep.
But I'll cook a ham.
Yep.
I'll always do a glazed ham, which is always very nice. I usually do a practice ham.
A practice ham?
Yep.
Oh, good.
Yep.
Let's do that next week for the episode.
I've already done it, I'm sorry.
Oh, do it.
A second practice.
practice.
I like that. Now we're talking. And then I don't know what other meat we're going to do. So I've got a new Argentinian grill, and I'm trying to come up with a way of cooking something on that. And I was almost thinking about like a pig or a lamb on the spit. Depends on the temperature of Christmas Day, because there are some fire restrictions here in Australia. And then my mother-in-law is vegetarian, and she does a lot for us. So I always feel like I want to cook something nice for her, even though I'm not a big veggie. She does eat fish. And so I was thinking of placing some salmon on some boards and sitting it beside the fire and letting it smoke and slowly cook away doing that. So
well, my brother's new girlfriend is vegan, from what I've been told.
Okay.
And last year she was supposed to come, but Mum was sort of towing the line with, "I'm not cooking anything vegan." And I was like, okay. So anyway, she's coming this year, so Mum has to work out what she's doing for vegan.
But vegan's just no animal products at all, isn't it? So no eggs.
It's like
Pad's gone.
It's like lettuce. Yeah.
Pad's gone.
Good, because that's my Pav.
And
Trifle's out.
Gone. There's eggs in the custard.
And potato salad's out, because there's eggs and bacon in the potato salad.
Well, there might have to be. See, I'll always make a potato. I'll make an okay potato salad, and when my mother-in-law is with us at our house, I always make one without
a Christmas lettuce
as well. Actually, I've always wanted a wedge salad. But anyway, so that's where we're going. But it's all about the drinks and cocktails for us. I love a Pav too, but I've never made a Pav. And I make lots of food, but I just don't do desserts.
I know, even like you're talking about like Argentinian spit roast.
I tell you, the genius in me. You know how smart I am, don't you?
Yep.
So last year I managed to create a pav-off between my sister and my mum, because the best pav was always my grandmother's pav,
yep, good.
as all grandsons will say.
Stuff is grandma's, the best,
yep. But I managed to get my sister and my mum to do a pav-off
yep.
to see who was now the best pav maker now that grandma has passed.
Yep.
And so I got 2 pavs.
Yeah, cool.
Genius.
Yeah. No traditions.
Feel free to use that one.
Yeah, no traditions though, Paul, for us. We're a pretty quiet, small family, so we don't have much.
What are you having, Paul? I'll be interested. I reckon Paul will have a good setup, a good feed.
I think so too. Wonder if he has something for his cats. Just jump back into Fan Frenzy, Paul, and drop your comment in that, and we'll have a read of it too.
Love to hear it.
Thank you, Sam. Not overly jazzed about the race because I stayed up to watch it during shifts and it was a farce. So preparation for the short Sam answers and beefy questions. 3 points to Joe. Who's this guy getting points in a green tractor? 2 to Gasly, pulled it together while his teammate dropped it. And 1 to Hulk, came back from the turn and won tussle.
I can't believe I forgot Gasly.
Yeah. Done. Ocon, turn 1. Hero, Gasly, for not being a turn 1 Muppet and getting Alpine over the line for 6 in Constructors. Question. So I'm not thrilled with the FIA and how the stewardship is going. The Carlos incident from Vegas being forgotten, and then just a response to the debris on track, and spin the wheel penalty drivers were getting, just made me feel like it's not a professional sporting league, but rather backyard cricket with your one hand, one bounce or auto wiki rules. They're quite steadfast cricket rules, though, I thought. So what are your key deductions as to why penalties and decisions suck at the moment? Is it the over-engineered rules, the turnover of staff within F1 and FIA stewards, or are our expectations as fans so broad because we are a large collective that we will all never be satisfied? That's a really good question, Sam. That's a really good question. I think for me it is a combination of 2 things. It is the constant lack of ability to have a consistent person leading that role. I don't know why we need different ones every single week.
In stewardship.
Yep. So that is one reason why. And I think also the combination of grey areas that come with applying penalties does make it difficult to be consistent with penalties. Whereas if you look at like football or soccer or cricket, for a better word, like take LB for example, it's pitching in line, hitting middle, underneath the knee roll. Like those 3 things have to happen to make that call. So you can correctly make consistent calls based on those 3 criteria. In F1, it's very difficult to have a set of criteria and then watch all of the sequence of that criteria to play out to then make that correct call, because everything's slightly different.
It is. Yep.
So that's why I feel like that we as fans get up in arms because of the inconsistency of what is applied, because we see it as a fan and a viewer that for us incidents do look similar, but then from an F1 point of view, you've got Steward A dealt with the first incident this week, Steward B is now going to deal with a similar incident next week, but is going to have a different perspective on it because it's the first time they're dealing with it. So I guess that's sort of my thoughts on that. What are your thoughts on that?
I think you answered that quite well.
Thanks.
For me, the last thing, I think those 2 elements are big players.
Yeah.
I don't think you can discount the political play going on at the moment in the FIA.
Yeah.
And I think this changing of a race director hasn't helped anything.
Yeah.
And I think there's a strange political situation going on as to why we needed to change that race director at this point of the season, which has allowed and encouraged stewards to get a little bit heavy-handed with these.
Yeah.
But then, like, you say it's really hard to put in place like a common rule for different things.
Yeah.
And I do tend to agree with that. However, I feel like we've seen plenty of the forcing wide situation. So you can start to place some things in there. We've got 2 wheels, which are great measuring points on each car. If your car is alongside, if your front wheel's alongside the back wheel, then we can work around that. I just feel like it's possible. I think everyone should be giving a fair bit of racing room, but if you're dive bombing and not making the track, I think it's fairly obvious as well. The other thing that the FIA don't do very well is they change the rules on every track. All of a sudden, some places you're allowed to. You go to the blue line, sometimes you go to the white line. I mean, they're getting a little bit better, but they're certainly not helping themselves, and it does make it really challenging. Yeah.
Interesting. Great question, Sam. I thought it was a really good question.
I think political plays are at play big time, and I think there's probably affecting different things at the moment.
Beautiful. Sam's last little comment there. Also on the brief mention of kids' backyard cricket rules, did anyone else have a 2-bounce headbutt and have 9-year-olds diving to headbutt a tennis ball just to get out a mate?
I've played a game where you can 2 bounces and 1 headbutt. Yes.
No, I'm going to go no with that, Sam. It's just AutoWiki exists.
Did break an ankle playing cricket once, didn't I?
Correct. Was there for that one.
Yep.
Over the fence is 6 and out. Yeah. Good. Chris Malia. Sorry, Chris, if I have butchered your surname there. Chris gives us a race ranking of 7.5 out of 10. Wasn't a bad race. Wasn't a great race. Hero, GM looking to forward some new teams and engines in 26. Done of the day, Perez. It's time to let someone drive the Red Bull in the finale.
Ooh.
3 to Max, even though he doesn't have the fastest car, still racking up wins. 2 to Piastri, consistent weekend. And 1 to Zhou. Any points in a state car deserves a vote. You're right, Chris. It deserves 3. Questions. If teammates finish with no one between them at the end of the race, do we just allow them to swap points if the team wishes? Can't reverse decisions once made, and stop team orders swapping at the end of races.
Not a bad call.
Not a bad call. I think this probably stems from George's comments that, you can't win races like that. That's not the way the sport wants to go. But I can guarantee that if George was in that situation...
When Lando handed over, everyone was a bit about the situation.
I think it was so...
It's a sprint race anyway.
Yeah, no one cares.
If it was an actual race, I think there would be a little bit more liveliness. But, is it worth teams being able to switch their points around? Probably not. It's an interesting idea,
It's interesting, right? It's just... It's that sort of anomaly that we have within our sport that you can... that within a team sport where a team can win, you can actually... manipulate the actual result.
Next.
Sorry, it's dropped off.
Adam Hughes, race ranking of 8 out of 10. 3 points to Oscar, solid weekend. 2 to Zhou. Points, baby. Should have been Bottas. And 1 to Gasly, again having a dream couple of races. Dud of the day, Norris, mistake again, 10 seconds, stop go. Correct ruling. Here we go. HOTW. What's that stand for? Hero of the hour. What's the W? Hero of the week.
Hero of the week?
Jack Doohan.
Possibly.
Confirmed on the grid next week. Fun fact, Zhou has outscored Checo in the last 4 races with 4 points. That's ridiculous, isn't it? Question. Did you see the footage of Oscar snubbing FIA boss after the race? Gold. He was never brave enough to do that. Everyone else was doing it.
Yeah.
And now he's even joined the team.
Yep. Oscar's tribute. Did you see Oscar's comments when he's funny without being funny in the press conference? We knocked over the Sprite. He's like, I've made a scene. That's funny. He's a funny man.
He's coming alive.
He's coming alive, isn't he?
Yep. All right, who you going with?
Nat Pollard, race ranking of 8 out of 10. Some great overtaking in both the sprint and feature. 3 to Oscar, great result over both races. 2 to Gasly, doing his best to help Alpine secure 6th. And 1 to Zhou. Zhou is not a nickname, it's how it's pronounced. Baking Sauber's duck. Hot hero of the hour, Avi Pulling, F1 Academy Championship, and a totally humble young lady. Good luck in GB3 next year. Yes, good call, Nat. Did see that. And the finish by Avi, she drove spectacularly well. Done of the day, stewards, race director, whoever calls safety cars. I hope they have good heart think over the off-season about safety car and VSC deployment timings. Yes. Question. Good question, Nat.
Great question.
Great question. Have you been watching Senna on Netflix?
No.
Thoughts? No. But what I have done, Nat, is I have clicked on the title, worked out how many episodes it is, and where I'm going to fit it in this weekend. So I am ready to go. I had actually forgot that it was coming out on the 29th, Nat.
I knew it was there.
Ready to go.
And I'm not ready to immerse myself.
Oh, I am. I absolutely.
No. Well, I just don't have the time. You've seen my erratic life at the moment. We had to drive to my workplace to pick up my recording equipment because it was there. Because last time I forgot.
After last week, I turned up at your door unannounced, and you're like, "Oh, wait, we're doing this."
Yes.
It's like, "Yeah, we do it on a Tuesday."
And so, I need to. I'm desperate to start it, but I just need to finish. I've got 6 weeks of holidays coming up.
Yep.
I need to get into a point where I can sit down with a glass of wine and just soak it all in.
Yep.
Because, and you know what, I'm going to put too much expectation on it's going to be crap, but I'm interested, Nat. Have you been watching it? I'm keen to find out.
I tell you what, Nat, there's a massive chance that now you've sparked my interest again. I'll probably go home and watch it. It's 10:15. Yeah, I'll
we're
probably
actually
go
running early
I was going to say, I might actually be able to sneak episode 1 in. But Nat, same again. Jump in the comments. Tell us what do you think of it so far. I have seen some behind-the-scene footage of how they've actually started filming it. So, yeah, it looks good. Simon Blackburn, lucky last. Race ranking of 6.5 out of 10. It's a circuit that doesn't allow for great racing, but accidents and penalties make a dramatic race. Hero, Zhou, double points and the first for Sauber this season. And Dud, everything to do with the delay of the safety car. The ramifications of this delay screwed over many drivers. Oh, he's gone back to front here. Votes. 3 to Zhou, great way to nearly end his career in a main seat at last on a high. Correct call. 2 for Gasly for getting 5th. Wasn't it 6th or 5th? 5th? I forget which one it was. And 1 to Piastri for a podium to try and counteract the harsh but in the rulebook 10-second stop-go for Lando. Bit of damage limitation for their constructors' battle. Question. Can we just yeet the FIA into the sun? Possibly, Simon.
You know what? It's the worst that the FIA gets run over the same thing. Like when we go to races, we see these guys up close doing their job perfectly, don't you? Like in the pit lane, you see them doing their job so well, and you see them doing all the other bits and pieces, and they run so many wonderful Formula One races, and we don't have to ask any questions about how things are happening because they generally get them all right. It's when these political battles start coming in, all these guys who are doing a brilliant job of their jobs get tarnished by the changes that are made from the top of the people who clearly know what's best for everybody. One of those guys isn't talking to any of the drivers at the moment, which is the biggest stakeholder in Formula One. And the other guy's been brought in, and he's just told the race stewards to go and get real nasty with everybody. And it's just, that part is just a schmozzle. The top is the problem. And when we say FIA, we're thinking about them, but there are so many great guys that are working really hard and do their jobs perfectly and just are such a beautifully well-oiled machine. They've got great jobs, but they do them really well. And so FIA, top management, absolutely, let's yeet them into the sun. But the rest of them, they do a great job, and we should be thankful for the work that they do because they do it consistently really well.
Beautiful. Thanks to everyone. Our listing says 7 comments, so if we have missed it, we've unhidden them, or if we've not found it, or if
the book has hidden something,
Facebook has done something and we've missed your comment in advance, sorry, please jump on the DMs and let us know.
Apologies. But sometimes I do it and we can't work out why. There will be more. There'll be another fan frenzy, and I feel like we haven't discussed what our end of year show is going to look like, but
we'll
do an end of season show, but we'll also do our Abu Dhabi show, and there'll be a fan frenzy after that one, and then we'll have to do something else a little bit more official to end out our season, and we'll probably have something more then. But thank you very much for all your wonderful comments. Goodbye now.